stuff.
I'm gonna donate my Xbox Series X, or do the Ron Swanson and meme and just throw it in the garbage.
No, Ron, those are cookies. They can track what you're interested in across websites that you go to. He walked that thing out and chucked it straight in.
I mean, you can use that Series X to go to certain websites on your Edge browser.
True.
Oh, so do you have any recommended ones that you enjoy?
Google, Ask Jeeves.
Any hubs? Any particular hubs?
GitHub.
Oh, that's a famous hub.
That's a good one.
I'll take famous hubs for 400. Good job.
You think I pulled that one out, did you?
I set you up. You spiked it.
Hubcap.com.
Oh, hubcap.com. Go on. What kind of content do they have?
I mean, I would be, if I felt brave, I would Google famous hubs, but then I don't know where I would go.
I'll take famous hubs for 400. So sorry, you got a VPN. Go ahead and Google those hubs. Oh, listeners, reply to us with your favorite hubs. Let us know.
They usually just redirect me to like local
Hub it up.
whatever region I'm in hubs.
Renee's on immediately.
No, I told Renee I was about to jump on.
Renee still a la casa?
Yeah, he's still working on that task you sent him on. Both of y'all sent him on.
Excellent.
So. I think he has until the 13th, so he's working on a document he hasn't touched in years that shows previous history of places he's been. So.
All right, let me know if he needs help because I can help with that. I recently did a format with ChatGPT, so I've already got one. If I can get a couple prompts, so we can knock it out.
Yeah, I told Renee to get with you because I think he's working on that. I said, get with Richard, he might be able to help you out. So.
Yeah. And this guy from the aforementioned nonsense I've known for a long, long time, so he just wants a name. So we'll do the right thing, but yeah, we'll be all right. Renee, get with me later. What we got? 5 days? Let's not wait till the 13th.
Yeah.
Just there's no telling what I'll be doing. Don't put me up against a gun. I might fail you. Don't put me in the position to fail you. It could happen.
I mean, did you already complete your given task?
What was my task?
I mean, it's a vehicle.
Oh, the comparse?
All...
Not yet. We're close. We figured out more of what we want versus what we knew beforehand. So it's lots of Brant. We're basically just Forza Horizon 4 in real life. 5? 5's the newest one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just trying that in real life.
I mean, we can still play the game that.
Glad it's not the crew.
He could just keep sending me vehicles, and then I could just keep buying them and just park them in my backyard. That way, he can never accomplish.
Is that what you and Renee have been doing? Y'all got a whole fleet back there?
We'll save you and just keep buying vehicles.
Yeah, Richard, we're kind of running out of funds here, dude. I don't know how much longer we can save you money. We're about $200,000 in the hole here, dude. We bought all these things.
We had to hope for some kind of weird insurance fraud with lightning and water in the backyard or something like that.
We're out options here, dude. Don't know how else to help you.
Unless we have another flood of the Ark and Noah comes by and take out some of these vehicles.
We did our best. Oh, Murmy says make sure you hit record. Yes, we learned our lesson. I'll definitely hit record. That must happen. It doesn't go well. It's a nightmare to try to scramble back from that. We lost a YouTube viewer. I don't know what happened.
Get tired of her shit.
This early on, we're like less than 3 minutes into live streaming, I think.
We're insulting vehicles and they're like, nah, this ain't my show.
Yeah. What kind of lot are they running here?
It's not my bag.
Yeah.
Not my bag.
Mute, block, unfollow, report.
Yeah. Just remove the API like they did off of Twitter and you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Stop getting that revenue. Those extra charges from the API calls. All right, we ready to rock? 301. The last one was 300?
Rock.
Brant.
Yeah.
Brant, did you forget?
Remember we talked about having people on and then that didn't pan out.
One of those people sent me a picture of a CRT yesterday in Snellville at the Goodwill. They took a CRT. I don't know if that was accidental or what. And I said, please pick that up for me. And they said, I have no room for it. And I was like, okay, there's that.
Then why'd you take your picture?
It was
Why are you
$9.
teasing me?
It was $9. It was a little Panasonic, and
You must travel for it.
it had silver trim, and it was a curved tube, and I'm guaranteeing that had component inputs, and it was probably a 20-inch or so. It was a smaller set. That would have been awesome.
I saw another one of those like TVs where it's like a tube TV, but it's got like a domed shroud that you pull down, and then it almost makes the image on whatever was on the tube TV look like almost 3-dimensional. It was weird.
I've never seen that. I need to see of what you speak. It sounds like a Jetsons thing. Brant, you've been fever dream watching the Jetsons?
No,
His boy
Just-
Elroy.
doom scrolling and seeing things. Usually I see something like that, I send it to you, but and they were playing like PlayStation 2 on it as well, so it looked really trippy.
It was period correct. Were they playing like Fanavision or Frequency or one of those Fever Dream PS2 light simulators? LSD, the PS1 game? Jane, his wife. That's how you said to introduce my in-laws.
She takes her husband's wallet,
She did,
falls to
didn't
the
she?
floor.
Mm-hmm.
What year was the Jetsons supposed to take place? Are we supposed to be past that point?
We're past where the Jetsons were supposed to take place.
Perfect. Astro the dog. Been any Jetsons
Daughter
video?
Judy.
Daughter Judy. His boy Elroy. Are there any Jetsons video games that y'all know of? We're not even recording.
There's gotta
yet.
be.
This is great.
There
There's
has to
one.
be.
Yeah. There's one I think I played.
Cesar believes he's played a Jetsons video game. Instead, it was just the Jetsons theme song on Guitar Hero 2 Legends of Rock. Or was it Guitar Heroes 3? Guitar Hero 3.
I'm 100% certain once you see it, you'll buy it. So.
The Jetsons video
shouldn't
game?
Yeah, you shouldn't research it. Stay away.
I still never checked to see if I had that 300 PSP game. I think I own it. Should I look real fast before we're recording? Just for curiosity's sake.
No. But look up the Jetsons video game. There was a good Super Nintendo one.
There's a Super Nintendo Jetsons game?
It's really, really good. Yeah.
Uh,
You're going to be buying it after this because it's really good.
have you played this one?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me look in the... I've got a picture of my collection. Let me see if I got it for PSP. According to this photograph, I do not have the 300 PSP game. March to Glory? Isn't that what we said? It wasn't Rise to Glory?
Yeah.
I'm not part of the 300 lore.
Not since last week.
Mm-mm.
All right, episode 301. Everybody got the news up? Everybody's good?
Yeah.
Everybody good?
I'm looking for this dome TV.
Brent's going to be looking for that all episode.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 301 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and Hanna-Barbera cartoon collection podcast. Cesar moans. Deep in his research of Jetsons lore.
No, I told you it's a Super Nintendo one. Yeah, just
denying his Hanna-Barberism.
If you have do you have the Super Nintendo Jetsons game?
Do you want me to go? I could have looked. Now we're recording. I could have looked.
I think it'd be a good stream. Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me see. Even though I have a copy of the Jetsons game, regardless. I don't think I took a picture of those for some reason. No, there it is. Is it under the Jetsons or just Jetsons?
I gotta look it up. I forgot what's like Battle something if I remember correctly.
All right, Jurassic, Jungle Strike, John Madden Football, Jimmy Connors, Jeopardy, Sports Edition, Jeopardy, Indiana Jones.
I'm looking it up, bro.
Nope, I don't have Jetsons. Because I'm pretty sure I wouldn't put it under the...
All right, there's a whole bunch of Jetsons games, but the only one that I know that I played that is really good
We couldn't even name one previously.
is Invasion of the Planet Pirates.
Invasion of the Planet Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you didn't actually join the Jetsons podcast. I'm sorry. The Hanna-Barbera thing was just a tease. We're actually a video game podcast, and tonight we're discussing Sony backpedaling on Helldivers 2 update, ? Where did they have to backpedal from? I spent a lot of time in Helldivers 2 backpedaling. Several Bethesda studios shut down. That doesn't sound good.
Good job, Brant.
Oh, Brant did it himself. Brant, you pulled the trigger?
No, that was not me, I swear.
With your 3D vector TV thing you're trying to find, this Fever Dream Jetsons TV? We're going full circle with the Jetsons TV. That's where it all stemmed from. Nintendo World Championship NES Edition for Switch, in parentheses. And we have your May PlayStation Essential Games. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster and Fever Dream CRT designer, Brant McKee.
Not Fever Dream enthusiast.
Are we not all Fever Dream enthusiasts?
As far as I can find, it's a Philips Discoverer CRT. Looks like a space helmet.
I've seen some of those, but I didn't know that the whole flip down thing in the front did anything. Is it just like a layer?
I mean, honestly, it just looks like it kind of magnifies the image a little bit.
So it's a grill on top of the CRT, like Aperture grill, or what would that be? A slot mask? Aperture was Sony's trademark or licensing. So it'd be a slot mask potentially on a Philips. You said Philips?
Yep.
When did it come out? The space helmet CRT?
83.
In 83? It looks older than that, right? It looks like a design of another era. And you have to let the chat know which
this is specifically, I sent you a picture. And the suggested images, there's a Reddit post about it right here too. This guy has Sonic the Hedgehog
playing on it.
It actually looks pretty bad.
Deep cut. You would have to play something like that on there, right? All right, Brant has sent me an image. It's going to be Sonic the Hedgehog on a Philips. What do they call this? Discoverer. Is that lens doing anything? Is the helmet doing anything on there?
To me, it looks like it magnifies the image.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a space
like
helmet.
Slightly.
So if you're watching the live stream, I've shown the image that Brant has shared with us. But it's basically like you're looking at a spaceman's helmet, and the CRT is like kind of deeper in there. It's definitely a very soft composite image, because you can see in Super Mario World, if it has composite, 1983 might be RF only. Did they mod it or anything on this one?
I'm not sure.
It has a dark visor that can be brought down to enhance the contrast and prevent glare on the 14-inch screen. But you know that thing gets scratched up like hell, right?
Oh,
that helmet,
probably.
It probably came with a dust cover. That would be a nightmare to keep clean and polished and everything and dust-free. Constant battle.
This thing looks freaking crazy, though.
Yeah, I like that. Should put that on the Instagram. I'll give credit to whoever took that Reddit photo, but put that on the Instagram maybe. Not a Fever Dream CRT confirmed. Brant has found... He has matched up an image from his vivid dreams with a Reddit thread, which I often do. And he's legitimized by finding a commercially released product by Philips in 1983. Let's jump into news, shall we?
Let's do
Who
it.
here plays Helldivers?
Not in a while, but yes.
It's been a minute. Who here enjoys Helldivers?
Very much
All
so.
of us. Solid title. The news, of course, because this developed super fast.
Extremely fast.
Randy Rebs is on here saying no Dodcast. Why are we the no Dodcast? No outside drinks or drinks? Randy Rebs, if you're watching the video, you'll probably approve of both of the beverages upon which I'm dining tonight. Dr. Pepper, Zero Sugar, Strawberries and Cream, as well as Mountain Dew, Zero Sugar. What was this, Purple Thunder? Very, very berry.
I mean, you're consuming. You're not dining on them.
I'm not dining on them? I haven't had anything to eat for dinner. This is my dinner.
Are you eating them, or are you going to get out a knife and a fork?
It's a liquid dinner. Murray says, can you share your Reddit matching Fever Dreams? I will not. Reach out to me privately, and I will send those affiliated links your direction.
Hold on.
Renee
I'll
says,
find it.
no, regarding my Fever Dreams and Reddit matches. It's probably not CRT related. Randy approves of my drinks.
It's in the chat, y'all.
There it is.
Reddit threads in the
Good
chat.
job.
Yeah, Renee's a big fan of your. He's a Dr. Pepper fan.
This
So
Dr. Pepper Strawberries and Cream Zero Sugar is the best
Yeah.
soda available currently out there. It's
I'm
top
sure he
tier.
agrees with you on that.
Renee, have you had the new creamy coconut? That one is also very, very good. It's a very subtle coconut at the end.
Okay, this is not aluminum and aspartame.
Hey, our spin-off show.
It's
Oh,
always
Randy wants to be a
aluminum
part of that
aspartame.
one. Randy wants to be on some
Oh, yeah.
aluminum and aspartame. Instead, let's get back to Helldivers 2. So I think this news is kind of jumping in midway to the story, right? There was a certain point where...
Hey,
Yeah, we are the Jokers.
Joker's
I
wild.
think there's a certain point where it was announced that I'll do the pivot story as well. This comes from VideoGamesChronicle.com and Chris Scullion. PlayStation U-turns after Helldivers 2 Steam backlash, scraps mandatory PSN account linking. We're still learning what is best for PC players, in quotes. Basically, they were going to require a PlayStation Network login for Helldivers 2 gamers on Steam. Whether or not they had a PlayStation, that was... I mean, that wouldn't affect the three of us, but for many people who only game on Steam, or say Steam and Xbox or Steam and Switch, and did not have one of these credentials, they did not want to have to create a Sony PlayStation ID, and that was very anti-consumerism, I think would that be the overall take of forcing someone to create a new account for something like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard
Yeah.
ask when they said it was required at the beginning, but they didn't actually enforce it in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, oh, we're going to enforce it now.
And it had been in the EULA for the whole time, right? Which nobody reads.
Mhm.
Yes, is it all of our faults for not reading the fine print? Yes, but nobody reads that. It's not an advertised feature. It's a bug.
I mean, we would have caught it sooner if they actually didn't, they followed that and they weren't selling in those countries that didn't have PSN. Then we're like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, that was
You know what I
weird,
mean?
right? Like, why even offer it there? All right, we'll dive into this.
Because people would have figured out immediately after that point. Like, why? That's why it's not sold in this country, because they don't have a PSN.
Yeah. PlayStation has delivered a U-turn and scrapped its plans to require Helldivers 2 players on Steam to sign in with a PlayStation Network account. The requirement was present when the game originally launched, but after its unexpectedly early success led to several technical issues, it was temporarily removed. Last week, Sony stated that the requirement would be returning on May 30th, and that all players would need to have linked their Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. Which also, if you have one of these accounts, takes, 10 seconds? 15 seconds if you have two-factor?
Yeah, it's nothing.
The news was met with huge backlash from players, and the game was hit with over 100,000 negative reviews on Steam in less than 48 hours. So, basically a viral campaign, right? The negativity continued over the weekend when the game was pulled from over 150 countries on Steam due to them not having access to the PlayStation Network, which is what Cesar mentioned. However, in a new tweet posted by the official PlayStation account on X, the company has acknowledged its error and said it scrapped the plans to require a PlayStation Network account for the Steam version of the game. Helldivers fans, we've heard your feedback on the Helldivers 2 account linking update, it wrote. The May 6th update, which would have required Steam and PlayStation Network account linking for new players and for current players beginning May 30th, will not be moving forward. We're still learning what is best for PC players, and your feedback has been invaluable. Thanks again for your continued support of Helldivers 2, and we'll keep you updated on future plans. I would imagine 100,000 negative Steam reviews would have been valuable feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I imagine they would have tried to weather the storm, because, I mean, imagine how many new signups you would have for PSN, whether they're
Yeah.
paying for it or not. It would have looked good on that quarterly report. So,
and again, what is the saying about bad press is still good press? Like, people are talking about Helldivers 2 again. Maybe that was the second wind of. I mean, you had basically a free DLC release of News Cycle where you were in the news. Maybe poorly, but people were talking about it again. The news was met with relief by Johan Pilestad, the CEO of Helldivers 2 developer Arrowhead, who thanked the fans for forcing the change and PlayStation for relenting. Quote, "Firstly, I am impressed by the willpower of the Helldivers 2 community and your ability to collaborate," he wrote on Twitter. "Secondly, I want to thank our partners and friends at PlayStation for quickly and effectively making the decision to leave PSN linking optional. We together want to set a new standard for what a live game is and how developers and community can support each other to create the best game experiences." The change already appears to be making an impact on Steam, where user reviews have started to become more positive again, whereas user reviews were 95% negative on Friday. This is last Friday, of course. 96% negative on Saturday, and 98% negative on Sunday. So far, reviews today, which was Monday or Tuesday, they reversed this
Yeah,
course?
I was going to say go Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as of Monday, the reviews were far more balanced. Of the 28,000 reviews submitted today, only 52% are negative. And I believe that has pivoted since then totally in the other direction.
Yeah.
So they took a very anti-consumer move, as it probably would be viewed, even if it's just one step or one thing like that. You don't want a barrier in between, accessing the content you've already paid for, despite the fine print, all that sort of stuff. Does anybody have the Steam version of Helldivers? Have y'all double dipped?
Mm-mm.
I just wonder. I haven't watched anybody stream it or anything. I wonder if it has the whole PlayStation Marvel logos. You know how they zoom in and it's got the Helldivers characters and the PlayStation symbols and stuff.
Imagine it does.
Yeah, I would imagine it does too.
I would imagine the same thing with MLB The Show on Xbox. So
Ratchet and Clank on PC and Horizon and all those. Spider-Man.
Still PlayStation Studios games.
Studios, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So that influence is there, but yeah, I kind of get Cesar's point about maybe you just weather the storm and pick up those accounts and
and I think that's what they were originally going to do until
because now you're getting
at that
now
point.
you're getting emails about sales and you're getting offers for PlayStation Plus, and
I mean, we've learned that the Sony CEO's he's a funny dude, man. Like when the Sony pictures got hacked, that's what I always told. I think I had that conversation with Renee because that's before they had Spider-Man in the MCU, because originally Sony was like, yeah, we're not doing it. And then the Sony CEO came back after the hack and they found all the stuff leaked out. He didn't even know that happened. He's like, no, go back to him. It's super popular. Get him back in there. He didn't know what was going on. He had to step in and tell us, like, what? We had a chance to put him in there? What? And you refused?
why would you do that?
It's like some argument about money. It's like, no, go back to
freelance.
What's wrong with you? Yeah. So I was like, you'll be surprised how many times you don't want that to go off the chain of command. But all right, what the fuck's happening?
Renee says Sony should have offered PC players extra gifts like costumes or new weapons to sign up for PSN. As in, like a crossover bundle?
I mean, you get the free war bond. Like, hey, you get two free, get 2 free war bonds for every PSN sign up. You'll get more people that way versus forcing people to do it. So
do you offer?
You won't get everybody.
I mean, what do you do the other direction? Do you offer PlayStation players PC stuff to double dip across the other way? Like, how does that incentive work?
I mean, you would leave out the Sony players. So I mean, that's part of why they wouldn't do it. So because you're always gonna have the other people like, well, what about us?
Is there a precedent for that? Like, when Sea of Thieves launched for PS5, were there any exclusive things for that? There was? Okay. So there is a precedent.
It's only on PlayStation. Yeah, it's only on PlayStation. Yeah. I think there was some DLC or something. I forgot what it was. There's like a ship, a flag, or something else that's exclusive to PlayStation. So.
Was it a Hi-Fi Rush flag? Too soon? I've had a lot of highs and lows with that whole nonsense.
Yeah.
I guess that's our next story, but...
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster, man. These gaming companies are
like that same day I got it with the Humble Bundle, and I'm like, I almost feel bad redeeming this for my $12 along with 7 other games. When I thought about getting it for Steam earlier. I think Brant got it for Steam Deck a couple months ago.
I did.
And it plays well on there, right?
It runs amazingly. Perfectly.
This whole story's gotten worse and worse. I've led into it, so I'll go in with that one. This comes from Chris Collion as well. Xbox is shutting down Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, and 2 other Bethesda studios. Alpha Dog and Roundhouse Games will also be closing, or as Xbox head of studios Matt Booty referred to them as as Alpha Dog Games and Roundhouse Studio, or something backwards. Xbox is closing down 4 Bethesda studios, including Redfall developer Arcane Austin, which is not the Dishonored people, right? This is like a spinoff. Arcane Leon is the dead Dishonored people, if I remember correctly. Arcane, Tango, Alpha Dog, and Roundhouse Games will be closing down, with some staff joining other teams, according to a memo sent to staff. Staff were told the news over email by Xbox Game Studio head Matt Booty. A copy of the message was first reported by IGN. I think Bloomberg picked it up, and then it's been the news story of the week, essentially. Because a shit ton of talented people at very talented studios are no longer employed. Booty told staff that the decision was based on a, quote, reprioritization of titles and resources, end quote, and that some player employees will be realigned to other teams and others laid off. Today I'm sharing changes we're making to our Bethesda and ZeniMax teams, Booty's email reads. These changes are grounded in prioritizing high-impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds, which you have nurtured over many decades. Yeah, it feels good. Thanks for carrying that flag forward. Here's what we got for you. That was not part of the quote. Here's the rest of the quote. To double down on these franchises and invest to build new ones requires us to look across the business to identify the opportunities that are best positioned for success. This reprioritization of titles and resources means a few teams will be realigned to others, and that some of our colleagues will be leaving us. Sure. Booty goes on to detail the changes affecting the 4 studios. Arcane Austin, the studio behind Redfall, will close, with some members of the team joining other studios to work on projects across Bethesda.
And to add, Richard, I think they're famous for making Prey.
Arcane Austin?
Austin.
Oh, God.
Made Prey, yeah.
Everybody loved Prey. I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about Prey. This is, of course, the, 2016 reboot of that name / title, not the 360 game.
Not the one from Human Head Studios or something like that.
Quote continues, Redfall's previous update will be its last as we end all development on the game. Booty said, the game and its servers will remain online for players to enjoy, and we will provide make-good offers to players who purchase the Hero DLC. Japan-based Tango Gameworks, previously responsible for The Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Hi-Fi Rush, will also close, with Booty adding that, quote, Hi-Fi Rush will continue to be available to players on the platforms it is today. Alpha Dog, the studio behind Mighty Doom, will be closing too, with Mighty Doom closing down on August 7th. Quote, we will be turning off the ability for players to make any purchases in the game, Booty said, end quote. Finally, Roundhouse Games, which itself was formed following the closure of Human Head Studios, the aforementioned Cesar was referring to, will be closing down, and the team will be joining ZeniMax Online Studio. Roundhouse has played a key role in many of our recent game launches, and bringing them into ZOS to work on the Elder Scrolls Online will mean we can do even more to grow the world that millions of players call home, Booty wrote. As well as the presumably offset Arcane Austin, Tango, and Alpha Dog, Booty also told staff that a, quote, small number of roles across select Bethesda publishing and corporate teams will also be eliminated, end quote. Nope, don't end quote. These changes are not a reflection of the creativity and skill of the talented individuals at these teams or the risks they took to try new things, he added. I acknowledge that these changes are also disruptive to the various teams across ZeniMax and Bethesda that bring our games to market. We are making these tough decisions to create capacity to increase investment in other parts of our portfolio and focus on our priority games, which I'm sure means live service titles. I don't want to read this nonsense.
This all sounds like exactly what we got with Activision before Activision got bought. Yeah. Because just recently, I didn't put it in the news, but there is a pretty popular gaming video essay, kind of deep dive behind the scenes, lost game kind of thing called now I can't remember it. But they just did a video on some of the Activision games that were kind of in the background that got shoved away. Did You Know Gaming? There we go. I'm sure you can find them on Twitter. You Know Gaming is
awesome. Yeah.
They just did a whole video thing. It's almost an hour long, and it mainly focuses on Vicarious Visions and the fact that they had done all this work for Tony Hawk 1 and 2, and the fact that they had originally, their vision was to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 all in one package. It was too much. 3 and 4 were still on the table, so they were like, let's just kind of set it aside. We'll come back to it. They came to back to Activision with it and got denied a couple of times before they eventually got absorbed. There was even talk of them working with Nintendo in that video, talking about making a Donkey Kong game
They'd be a
where
great Nintendo studio.
A very tight-knit group of like not even 10 people or so. The previous heads of Vicarious Vision had worked on it, worked close with Nintendo, got a very early
It's like a 3D
workup
Donkey
of
Kong prototype, right?
yeah. They got a very early concept and demo going, and the biggest opposition was the heads at Activision. And eventually it was just like, y'all don't exist. We need y'all to support Diablo 2 and then go on to support Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of talk of, well, maybe these games can get brought back. Maybe these games can actually happen now that Microsoft is taking the reins. And now we're seeing Microsoft do the exact same thing that all these other companies are doing. And all of this kind of snowballs because right as this information was coming out, there were other people tweeting about how Microsoft just posted record sales for this year. I forget the percentage that they had gone up by. They semi-ironically
24 million in revenue already.
Yeah, something like that. People
was it billion? No,
was,
I'm off. It wasn't million. It was billion.
It was billion. Yeah. I know it was not peanuts. Not small numbers. And of course, like an hour before this other stuff was posted, they, feel the burn with the brand new Umber controller or whatever that was. That new controller. It was just kind of like, oh, yikes.
I remember everybody in the chat was like, I'm excited about the controller. Stop telling me about these games, Closure. I need that controller. They were making those jokes.
And then, of course, all this other information comes out about how, the day after the closures, Matt saying, hey, we need these small games that give us prestige and accolades. Well, Hi-Fi Rush was one of those games.
And everybody's highlighting that Aaron Greenberg tweet like, Hi-Fi Rush is the type games we want to build our portfolio with. It was a breakout success, and it was, there's no marketing lead in. It was just announced and released, and everybody loved it. It's like, a year later, come on.
And that on the brand, I don't want to take any of his thunder, but people are arguing about whether or not that counts as a small game. They're like, I think Jeff Grubb had to come out there. So what do you want as a small game, like a lotto ticket price, or they're arguing back and forth like, well, that was a development for like multiple years.
Yeah,
he's thinking about like a team of 15 people or less. It's going to be like $20 or less. Is what he means by small games.
Yeah. Its development time was around 5 years, but technically, in the grand scheme of things, to Microsoft, that is a much smaller title, based solely on the way they marketed it and the way they priced it.
And there was no tail on it. There was no add-on purchases. I mean, there was a deluxe edition. It was the traditional like buy up for Halo 2. You could get the $50 one, or you could get the $60 SKU. There was no extra live servicey parts to it. It was just a completed product released, and that didn't have the tail long enough. Even though it eventually came to PS5 and Steam, and it was Steam day one, right, or a little bit later.
Yeah,
yeah, and then and Switch as well.
Everywhere,
yeah.
And on top of all this, Microsoft has been talking for the past 2 years, 3, 4 years about how they, really want to get a foothold in the Japanese market. When they bought ZeniMax and Bethesda, they go. Tango Gameworks. It's a Japanese studio. Boom, here you go. Here's your in. And now they're closing them.
Yeah.
And all of Tango's releases have been like solid top tier minimum high AA to AAA quality, right? From Evil Within 1 and 2 and
all well received.
And Ghostwire Tokyo. Friend of the show Jeremy was playing Ghostwire Tokyo not too long ago.
The weird thing is like the only thing that these studios asked for was more staff, because they wanted more staff to step up for these new games coming in there, and they're like, you know what, we're not going to provide you with more heads.
Where was that?
So which is weird because you would just, I guess you have all these studios, you just wouldn't move people around to support. Kind of like Sony does that with Naughty Dog, and Santa Monica. They'll kind of move studios around to help support games when they need more staff instead of hiring new people. So it's weird at how they're allocating resources as they make an argument like, we don't allocate our resources well enough, is what he said. Remember, we're too spread out thin, like peanut butter on bread. So it's like, which is crazy because you guys been arguing for like the last 3 years that no, we can manage this all. We have all the studios. We're fine. Money's not the object.
Yeah,
it's all
we'll
about the
outspend
vision.
Sony.
Yeah, well, it's about the vision. I want them to make the games they want to make. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, you've seen stuff like Jason Schreier released stuff out there where now all this stuff like Activision, that purchase, that $70 billion purchase, it's like now Microsoft's looking at like, all right, what the fuck's going on over here? Because they said before, like I think somebody came out and did the math. Was it Daniel Mott came out and said I think Xbox was going to be down 5% for the year. The only reason why it made record numbers is because of the Activision purchase. So it was like they're looking at it under a deeper scrutiny now, because I think that was part of like the dance or the purchase with the devil right there. Because I think we'll let you buy this company, but we're going to be more hands-on on your revenue aspects, and then you have dropping console sales, and that's why they're throwing everything on the wall. Like, all right, let's release some of these games out on other consoles and see how it does, And they're talking about now. There's rumors going around. They're thinking about raising Game Pass and not putting Call of Duty on there, and maybe putting Call of Duty on there, but raising the price of Game Pass for a select few hits. So it's like they don't know what's going on over there.
Clue.
I mean,
and we're gonna have more tiers of Game Pass if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, I think before I give it to you, Richard, I don't think the Sony method's perfect, but I think they really need to let some of these releases breathe. Like you release Hellblade 2 in May, make it purchase only, and then put it on Game Pass in 6 months, or pay for a different tier to have it day one. If you want more, I mean, you want to pay, I don't know, $60 a month to get all those games day one. But I mean,
they've kind of been doing that the past couple of years. Like, didn't we pay extra for Gears 5 to play it like an extra 3 days? Like, we paid $20 or something extra to play it 3 days early.
But I'm talking about letting it breathe. I mean, like, for what we're paying now with $16.99 a month, you won't see Hellblade 2 until October,
unless you do the $22 SKU or whatever.
Or whatever the higher one is. You entice more people to buy the full product.
But they're not even marketing Hellblade 2. We all know what Hellblade 2 is and have been looking forward to it. They're not even marketing that shit.
They have people begging, hey, share information about Hellblade 2. There's usually a huge marketing blitz by this time, and that's been dry.
We missed that. We missed those cycles of like these lead-ins, and Cesar's right. Cesar hit the nail on the head. They're not letting these breathe. And Sony has been doing a better job of that. Nintendo does that. Nintendo basically has a huge game every month. What is the Nintendo game of the month? I'm spending $60 this month on what? Princess Peach last month. The month before that, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. What is the next one? Mario. Not Mario
Paper
RPG.
Mario,
Thousand Year
Paper Mario. I know what these are. I know what this schedule looks like.
And then your aquarium game or whatever the fish game was earlier this month too.
Yeah, Endless Ocean.
And then next month is what Luigi's Mansion 2.
Yep.
And then by then we'll have another direct and for the rest of the year, right? That's what they said. So from
Yep.
July till December, I wouldn't be surprised if we finally get our Wind Waker report on there because they had to push this thing back. So there's like, oh, we've been holding on this Wind Waker and Twilight Princess
Brilliant. And how fucking great is that going to work out?
Yeah. We're going to fart this out at the end of the year. We still got shit coming out.
So. Part it out. Part out the Switch. I looked up those revenue numbers. I didn't want to misquote that because it's pretty damning when you think about all these jobs lost across these studios of talented developers. This is from April 25th of this year from The Verge. Microsoft just posted the third quarter of its 2024 fiscal financial results. The software maker made $61.9 billion in revenue and a net income of $21.9 billion during Q3. That's $22 billion for Q3. Revenue is up 17% and net income has increased by 20%. As Cesar mentioned, this is the second quarter in a row Microsoft is including its additional revenue from Activision Blizzard acquisition. That's what you bought it for. You bought it for that. And it's coming in.
What's crazy is you have all these different divisions in under Microsoft. So I mean, it's like, they look at it like, hey, they made this comment before, like, hey, we got to get our gaming division to make X amount of dollars, get it up there to where it needs to be at. And it's like, it's the same thing with Sony, man. These companies have no fucking idea what they're doing half the time. So it's like my famous example. I don't really give a fuck about censorship, but the whole there's a game, there's a visual novel coming out this summer from Sony Music, Aniplex. And it's funny to me. I don't care, but Sony went to Sony and said, "Hey, we need you to take 2 images out of this art book." So it's like Sony doesn't even know what the fuck they're doing. So it's like it's funny to me because Sony Music. I mean, Sony games ask Sony Music like, hey, you can't publish this in this art book because it's too risque.
Right.
So take it out of there, but it's coming on the Switch version. So it's like these corporations don't know what the fuck they're doing, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, Sony, Microsoft, none of them, they don't care, man. It's like they got all these whole different arms. Like Sony Music might be owned by Sony, but they're doing their own shit. And it's the same thing,
We're part of companies. We see where the departments don't speak to each other, and it's like we're totally different entities. And we have people treat us within our same companies like we. First off, you shouldn't treat anybody poorly, but they will treat you like they don't know you're a coworker. Like we're getting the same paycheck from the same dude. It's all coming from the same place. Why are you treating me like I'm some horrible outsider? Like I'm working. I'm on your team.
So I mean, they're looking at this thing. It's funny because I'm sure Microsoft's looking like, yeah, you know, our Surface group brings in X billions of dollars a year, but your gaming thing is not up there. Why is your gaming thing not up there? You know, you look at people who don't know. I don't know if they know what they're doing, man.
But there are ebbs and flows because they bet. Bet on certain things, and if you look across Microsoft's history, yeah, the Surface is probably doing well. Is that the tablet one versus like the Surface Go laptop thing that they have?
And there's so many different surfaces out there now. So I'm like, you have a laptop, you have the standard version, you have a Go version now, you have a Surface Hub, a Surface
the big
Hub.
giant.
We're talking about famous hubs
the big
earlier.
Giant fucker that sits on the wall.
It's another famous hub. Yeah. There we go. So it's like, I mean,
well,
famous hubs for 1,000.
There's other famous hubs, man. There's only so many you can have, but it's that's the way they look at stuff like that, man. So it's like,
I saw your mother on the hub, Trebek.
But I think like Phil can only explain so much about like, hey, this is how we do things, and they come back and they're like, like they just like we're gonna really take these games and put these on PlayStation and Switch, do we really? And he's like, let's put Call of Duty on there. It's going to raise our Game Pass up there. It's like, Call of Duty brings in like billions of dollars. So do we want to just put that in a lower tier price thing? You know, shouldn't we raise the price of Game Pass? But then we're going to lose subscribers because I mean, look at me. I'm getting Game Pass for free, so there's a lot of people who take advantage of that. So it's like you raise that thing, it's going to make it very difficult for people to get those on that rewards program because it's going to raise the price on there. So it's like they're trying to figure out what to do, but not piss off gamers. But I don't think they're going, or even developers. But this is going to be a rough year for them because I think unless like Hellblade 2 moves like gangbusters, like units and Game Pass subscribers increase, is going to get worse quick. I think so. That's just in my opinion because I don't think there's anything else on the calendar this year outside of Indiana Jones and Avowed. And I mean, maybe Indiana Jones might move stuff. And Machine Games is good.
Games are basically the only thing that are stuck to a specific. We have this argument all the time about preservation and what box plays what and things like that. But like when the new Marvel movie comes out, right? You can stream it on an iPad. You can watch it on your Samsung Smart TV. You can watch it on Xbox, PlayStation, 3DS. Like you have all these options. It's not like, do I have to consider if Call of Duty is just going to be on this one thing? Like, why would you cut out the revenue of all the other things that you could release that on that franchise and property could be partaken in? And I mean, I think about the Nintendo Call of Duty news from not too long ago. Like, Call of Duty's been off of Nintendo since Black Ops 2. It's been forever. Or and Ghost. Was it?
We just saw it was Ghost. You're right. I think Black Ops. I think Ghost is the last one, right?
What was the launch title?
Yay!
Because Black Ops 2 was PS3. Remember? It's Ghost.
Ghost is the last one.
That's the one everybody hated. That's the one everybody hated. Okay. Yeah. And what's funny because I mean, Ghost. I was telling you earlier, Richard, that if you look at those supposed specs for the new Switch successor, those come in like outside the clock speed. Those come in almost a little bit higher than the Series S.
What did you see? Because I saw you mention that, but I wasn't quite sure what it was.
Yeah. I mean, it's like 12 gigabyte like video RAM. It's like legit. Like it's powerful than the PS4. It's a little bit more powerful than a Series S when it's docked. It's downclocked when it's outside, and that's before it uses anti-analyzing. And AI to
the anti-aliasing. The Series S is a beast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could possibly run these, Call of Duty games based off what they show, and with no issues based off these specs. I mean, the only thing that hasn't leaked out supposedly is just the CPU clock speed. That's the only thing.
God bless Nintendo staying just behind and selling gangbusters and not playing this bullshit.
I mean, it seems like if they were just going to do a straight Switch successor and keep it almost the same, it seems like they're doing the smart move. It's like, all right, we're going to up the technology on it.
There were comments from the president saying, it's basically what you would expect from a new Switch. So
yeah. So I mean, I think you'll see that on Nintendo. That should help out that Call of Duty SKU a lot. I mean, because as long as that install base follows it over, so. Which I imagine it'll backwards compatibility. I think all the boxes will be checked. So I mean, the only thing that will be interesting to see is the software output for Nintendo's port, because I mean they got lucky with the the Wii U stuff that a lot of people didn't play. They just ported that over and updated a lot of that stuff, and they've been pulling remakes here and there from like the Wii console and GameCube era.
It was almost a page out of the PS3 to PS4 playbook, where it was like, okay, we didn't sell a shit ton of these, and maybe a bunch of these people who had 360 as the lead platform didn't play God of War 3. They didn't play Uncharted, but here's this collection. Like they had all these, Last of Us remastered. They had all these coming out of the gate, where you could experience those like best of PS3 games on PS4.
With a lot of new games, yeah. And so now they're trying to do it now. People are like, yeah, we ain't falling for this again. I mean, we just played that last gen and we can still play it now.
Oh, so. We've had a bunch of questions. We got to back up a little bit. Renee says, do you think that will hurt future mergers from other companies because of Xbox? And I feel Xbox doesn't have the budget to support extra staff and game projects. They can. I just read those revenue numbers. They could if they wanted to. If they wanted to invest in that and they decided that was a way to build out that portfolio. Renee, honestly, that money is there. It's the people.
Can move, like I said, they can move those people around, man. That's crazy. When you staff up, you just take people from other studios who are not working on something and say, hey, help Arcane Austin with this.
You bring up a great point, because they're still treating them like they're these individual arms, but you have purchased them for a reason. You have put them under that umbrella as a safety net and as a pool of resources, but you're not using that. Why would you not? You're reallocating some people. Drawn Grave says Xbox is the redheaded stepchild. I'm assuming he was talking about Xbox. Drawn Grave says, wondering if the FSR is going to be more noticeable on the Switch successor. You're going to have a bunch of those AI upscaling type things, right? It's way more advanced.
NVIDIA's been doing it the longest, so I think that's going to be the most impressive one. Then I'll be more impressed with that one than AMD. So, or anything that PlayStation's making either. So, because those are still new.
And maybe it's telling that we haven't had a new Switch since the OLED one, which was really no technical upgrade. But I'm much more willing right now to buy an upgraded Nintendo product over a Xbox or PlayStation product.
I think you'll be pleased to know, Richard, in those specs, I think they said the internal hard drive would be 256. So
on the Switch successor, that's awesome too.
Yeah.
I mean, they cut out that barrier when they switched to micro SD cards, and we don't have all this proprietary storage, and we can just pop in there whatever.
Man, I'm looking forward to that 2 terabyte card, man.
Yeah, a lot of games. I mean, these higher def games are going to be bigger file sizes, even though Nintendo's always been like wizards at compression and getting the most out of the technical prowess of whatever underclocked machine they have. Oh, we were on that one for a minute.
Quite a while.
I blame Brant.
I hate this, man. I hate game studios. Not Brant. I don't hate Brant.
Damn it, Brant.
Drawn Grave says that your 256 gigs is 3 whole games. LOL. So Call of Duty.
One Call of Duty.
You'll have Warzone.
You are saying the truth, but like what it is now, 64 gigs on the Switch is 1 or 2 games.
Is the OLED 64 gigs on board? Because I think that stock one is 32.
I think 60. I think they doubled it when they went up to the OLED.
I mean, when's the last time any of us had to worry about Switch internal storage? We all slapped a SD card in that thing day one, and then we've just added to it.
No comment.
Yeah. Yes, it will be nice to have that. I agree with you.
No comment. I buy games from multiple regions.
What do we think? So. Yeah, you definitely need that. What are we thinking that thing's gonna be? $399 or $499? $450. What's the sweet spot?
I was about to say 450, 450-ish.
Drawn Grave says the OLED is 64 gigs. You're right. They did double that internal storage.
I was just going to say, I think probably between that 450 to maybe $499.
Yeah, $399, $499 is probably safe.
And I'm still good with, if all of this is going forward, if this is a new Switch, libraries, online service, friends, maybe some updated versions of those where we can actually like message each other and shit like that.
No, man, I like trying to figure out Brant's 20-digit friend code, and then I'm like, hey, it won't accept it. You're not there, and he's like, oh, it's not supposed to be 0. It's an O, capital O.
Brant, you want to play some Mario Kart? Get on the Discord chat. We can't chat over the actual console.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, we can't use the real fucking Nintendo app because it's
Ugh.
funky and bullshit.
just simple things like that would be, and transferring. Like if I don't want to, we have access to all these great games on Nintendo.
Don't say transferring. Don't bring
Transferring. You buy it on one, you get it for everything.
Kojima. Every time you say transferring, Kojima gets a quarter.
You can put transforming in Death Stranding 2. You got to transfer Death Stranding 1 to Death Stranding 2.
Go on. He would do some shit like that.
Transfer the DB.
Yeah. Move that DB from the PS4 to PS5.
Yeah, well, I started with a new one. Yeah,
Put your controller on the floor. No, but if they move, I think they've built out Nintendo Switch Online to a solid. I think that's a great service. I think there's a bunch of great games on there. And the way that... if you're in the family, as the Don would put it, you definitely are taking advantage of a great value in that access to the library. So if they transfer all that stuff going forward and all your old games work backwards compatible, like the way y'all described it, was it last week we were talking about these other rumors? It's almost like the DS to the 3DS card. Remember how they had like the different shape? And what? You know, like one would work on one.
I'm laughing because somebody had made a comment that they miss CD-ROMs, and then somebody's like, why would you miss CD-ROMs versus cartridges? And they were like, that tastes better. And it's like, that was pretty good. I was like, that was pretty good.
What'd they do? Tongue the hole in the CD?
I guess
No,
the
taste
ones
the
have a
cartridge on the
cartridge taste though.
on the Switch.
Oh, I thought they were tasting the CD for some reason.
that bitter agent. No.
Why did my mind go to them tonguing the CD?
I don't know.
I don't know where you went. I was like,
Wait, nobody else has tongued the hole in the CD-ROM?
no.
Just you.
I don't want to know what you're doing.
I went from blowing in the cartridges to tonguing the PlayStation CD holes, popping it in. Hey man, they played better that way.
Oh,
I would.
Brant, speaking of which, I got some surplus games for you, man. They're cleaned. They've been resurfaced. they're ready to pop in your 360.
I will be disinfecting every game I get from
why
now
is the center
on.
of this disc so clean? Everything else is dirty.
Man, St. Richardson discs were scratched up. He must have some sort of cleaner. Them things came back buffed up. Richard, what do you use? Elbow grease. Don't worry about it. All right, next story. We've digested the big pieces, I think.
We can go on
to
what peaked. You were talking about Nintendo having a big release every month, so you can spend your money on.
One. You're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It got leaked just by what was it? The Taiwanese rating boards or whatever. But then it just got announced the other day. It is the Nintendo World Championships NES edition announced for Switch. It is a collection of like mini game type things. Will be launching July 18th for $29.99, or you can buy a deluxe physical edition for $59.99. The physical edition comes with, of course, a physical version of the game, a set of 5 collectible pins, 13 art cards commemorating each of the featured NES classic games that are in this title, a replica of the folded gold NES game pack for display only. Of course, they have to put that in there, commemorating the original 1990 Nintendo World Championship event.
You can't actually play it.
I know. Dana Brandt here. I know Richard is also equally disappointed with me that Urban Champion is not on this list.
I will play some Urban. I'm coming around Urban Champion.
Have you come around Urban Champion? I remember you used to hate it fiercely.
It seems simplistic, but there's a lot more depth to that. I don't know what I was expecting. I've come around Urban Champion.
So paying tribute to the unforgettable in-person Nintendo World Championship held in 1990, 2015, and 2017. The Nintendo World Championships NES Edition challenges players to battle through bite-sized bits of classic blockbusters. Both old and new school players can enjoy the rush of over 150 speedrun challenges taken from 13 classic NES games. Warm up by setting and beating your own best times in single player speedrun mode, unlocking new challenges and unique in-game pins. There's up to 8-player local party modes. And Nintendo Switch Online members can also enter World Championship mode to submit their best times in 5 challenges that rotate each week and compete for a spot on the global leaderboards. The games that the challenges will be taken from are Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong, Excite Bike, Ice Climbers, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Metroid, Super Mario Bros. 1 through 3, and Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, The Legend of Zelda, and Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
Good lineup.
Looking, I know that a lot of the it looks like the pre-orders have gone up on several different websites and promptly sold out, so I'm sure this is going to be one of those that's going to be a little bit harder to get your hands on.
Will it, Brant? Will it?
I don't know. I'm sure they're doing the forced scarcity. I know that they posted the trailer, and I actually got kind of excited and also kind of disappointed at the same time, because I know it's not going to be this way, but the way they started the whole trailer and everything. Richard, have you seen it? Did you watch the trailer
where
for
they
this?
brought back all the different people from the... Because they rebooted this competition, like, 8 years ago or so?
But the way they're showing it, they have the old footage from the championships. They've got the people there. They're kind of talking about it. I'm like, oh, are they going to do this like they did the Atari 50th collection? And there's going to be like this whole behind the scenes stuff and like talking about the experience. And then it's just like, nope, here's the game. Here's what you do in the game. And I'm like, okay, that could be cool as well. I do want to play the game, but I also want this cool behind the scenes bit with all the footage and everything y'all have.
We're spoiled
and
by
interviews and in-depth things.
Because they could have done that. It was just in that YouTube video. You're right. It could have been a mockumentary type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It seems more like a mix. They're taking that World Championship nostalgia thing where it was, what was it, Tetris, Rad Racer, and
Ooh, you almost had me
Mario Brothers? Says, you like Rad Racer too?
Mm-hmm.
And you would try to get, like, you would submit a score, right, based off those 3 games, and you had certain timers, and they had criteria set to them. It seems like a mix of that and the NES Remix. It was a series for 3DS and Wii U. Maybe the Wii? No, that wasn't a Wii title. It was Wii U and 3DS, right? It was called NES Remix, and you would play little bits and pieces from the games, and it seems like they've kind of tied that together. But the online leaderboard stuff is cool, and I think there's multiplayer up to... Was it 6 to 8 players or something like that? 8 players, yeah.
8 players.
So that seems like it could be some random chaos. I think that'd be fun with a lot of people. You could play it. You could play it online.
Japan got the better version with the Famicom controllers.
Yeah, they reissued those for it. Yeah, the Famicom stuff looked good. Were the games different on the Famicom one? Did you see any of that?
Mm-hmm.
No.
It just comes with the controllers. So. I think they had a shit ton of them probably in the warehouse. Like, well, let's throw it in this bag.
Yeah, we got the cartridge thing that doesn't work. Somebody was a Cheap Ass Gamer has a campaign to bring back the NES sleeves. You know, those little black sleeves the cartridge would go in. So there's some in there. It's like at least release them for like a 10-pack. I would buy a 10-pack of those.
Let's say I've got the exact one the person was talking about, because I saw once somebody posted a picture, or it was Wario posted the picture of the collector's edition. He said, "Oh, thank God! Finally, I have another non-working cartridge to put next to my Fire Emblem cartridge."
Oh yeah,
because I got that
Fire Emblem set
well.
too, and they pulled that one from the store. It's like a stupid thing. Like, why even?
It was another one of those
stupid
where it's the 30th anniversary. They did that and the Mario All-Star 3D All-Stars thing the exact same time. We're like, oh, it's Mario's 35th. Oh, it's Fire Emblem's 30th. Guess what? We're gonna give you these special games, and then we're gonna take them away from you. So
Yeah, what day did Mario die on? They always kept saying Mario died.
Mario's death. Yeah, Mario gets eliminated, and I saw him in Walmart stores for like a year and a half up and after that.
Yeah.
Have they started to climb since then?
Stacks of them.
Is the value gone up any?
Slightly.
So I have a sneaking feeling, having been a Nintendo gamer for basically all my life, I've learned get these games at the end of the generation. They get harder and harder and harder to find as either interest wanes or they stop printing as many copies. So they got me on the physical one on this. I jumped on this nonsense. So
Good job. We're all proud of you. I jumped on both regions.
I'm not proud of me.
There's
Damn.
that.
You double dipped.
I double dipped. Yeah.
Yeah, the Famicom one was dope. And that uses aren't those Famicom controllers smaller though, or was that just the Famicom Mini? I think those controllers are normal sized.
You know how we got the NES controller over
Yeah.
here? This the Famicom's the same thing as that. That's it.
Right, but I think it's to scale. Remember when the mini consoles came out, like we got actual controllers, they scaled that Famicom Mini controller down, like it was actually smaller than the normal one.
I honestly don't know because I think I didn't get any of the Japanese ones. The only ones they had a surplus of that I bought from Japan was the Sega Genesis.
The Mega Drive six button one.
Mm.
God, that's a good fucking controller.
So that's the only one that I have. I don't have the Famicom one, so that I'll see it when it comes out because that's the only one I'm missing. That and I have the Super Nintendo one with the better coloring.
Yeah, but no convex or
superior.
no convex or concave buttons for those that dial.
I'll let you know once it comes in. Yeah, as long as they don't cancel it on me because it's already sold out on Amazon Japan. So
this is a cool collection. I like that they're still doing stuff like this, and they're doing the nostalgia plays, and this is just an easy Nintendo product. It seems like for them to put out, just like Zelda, your Wind Waker and Twilight Princess games parted out.
A no-brainer.
We'll see if it actually comes true. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they might even do Throw Your Bone, and we might get some Metro Prime 2 or 3, maybe. It's a lot of stuff they probably just sitting on for a while. Like, oh, we end up pushing this back, so we were sitting on this for a perfect moment.
I gotta go back and beat that first one. I'm so close to the end of that one.
Same. I fell off of it somewhat. Look, I fall off a lot of games, so.
Richard still wears his crown of falling off.
like
I'm
me.
almost caught up with Richard, man. I've been working a lot of late nights, man. It's been tough to stay up on gaming. I don't even been playing Helldivers. I think Renee's been playing more Helldivers than me. So.
You got him addicted. All right.
I think Sly got him addicted.
Let's wrap up news and cover what we haven't been playing. Your May monthly PlayStation games from the PlayStation blog. FC24, which is a EA Sports soccer game, the standard edition. Ghost Runner 2, Tunic. Everybody play Tunic. I've got that downloaded. I hear that's been phenomenal. Destiny 2 Lightfall with 3 asterisks.
We almost have all the DLC guys.
Almost all the Destiny.
Almost enough for none of us to keep not playing it, right?
Now that Sony has Bungie. This is also your last time to download April's games. Actually, that's gone by now, so.
Yeah.
Yep. This is a solid lineup, right? FC24, Ghost Runner 2, Tunic, and Destiny.
Very much so.
Me told Fred of the show, I think his PS5 is a dedicated Helldivers box. I don't think he's played a single minute of anything else. I need to tell him that soccer game's on there. And Tunic. I know a lot of people love Tunic.
Yeah.
Cesar, you said Topspin was one of the game trials on. Is that on Extra
I've been
or
waiting,
Premium?
Yeah. It's on. I think game trials are only on.
Only on Premium.
I think it's on.
Okay.
Premium. I don't know, man. I have the top tier.
Did you try it?
No, I was waiting to see if I can. I haven't even had a chance to fire my console, man. I just got home.
Let me know if it does the share play. I'm interested in seeing if that's a factor.
I mean, that starts the clock, so I gotta try another one to see if it does share play and not waste the clock.
Well, let me know and I'll get on there with you just in case it does.
Yeah, but what was it's like noon? I'm like, fuck, let's go Topspin.
But then I quit what I'm doing at noon. I come down here and I'll play some fucking Topspin.
I gotta get off this team's call. Look, somebody's playing Topspin. I gotta get off this call.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got 2 hours.
I don't see where this is not going to work out.
This team's call is bi-weekly, but Topspin is only 2 hours for this day.
Yeah. Cesar's playing Topspin.
I'll see you
Anybody who knows me, if I say Cesar's playing Topspin, they'll be like, okay, man, we understand. Go forth.
Hey, man, if it's good, I will buy Topspin.
I will support too. It's gotten great reviews. And we're, as much as we bitch about, like, so the indie space used to be like pixelated titles versus AAA, right? It was this indie space of, it was Braid and, oh my God, they found a way to compress Symphony of the Night onto an Xbox, arcade release.
No, you gotta get it right. It was Braid and it was like 250 megs.
Yeah, it was. These were super low. And then what was it, like Shadow Complex and There was a Undertow was like an underwater Metroidvania. These were some good ass games, but then it bridged into indie. You know, Dave the Diver is an indie game made by this multi-billion-dollar studio, so it's that actually an indie game.
Quotation on the word indie.
Yeah, so they blurred into that like AA and AAA and stuff. But there's a great tennis game out now, and Stellar Blade is like supposedly this PS2 game that's just phenomenal, and I feel like I need to be supporting these titles that are coming out in the vein of what we wanted.
Me and you were just talking about these PS1 games that just came out.
Yeah, Crow Country is like a PS1. Brant, there's a demo for PS5 and Steam. It's like a clunky. Imagine the character models from Final Fantasy VII, like with the big arms and all that, in a Resident Evil game. The art style is incredible. And Cesar, what's the one that you sent me? It was like a Alista,
yeah, which is also like a Resident Evil-esque horror game with tank controls. I played the demos like this.
Oh gosh,
perfect.
As the enemies are coming for you, you're like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Where's my weapon?
You're shooting straight down at their feet.
They move fucking.
Get over here! I'll fuck up your toes.
I'm like a mime in the box, man.
A mime in the box.
Like they're moving normally at my ass. It's like that's not fair. They should be moving at me clunky too, like this. Like it's gonna take forever. Like we should all. I'll be dying laughing if everybody's on the screen just moving like this. I'm like, holy shit, that's great. I'll spend hundreds of dollars on that game. I'll those go. Huh? This is entertainment.
Joel Grave says Crow Country is pretty good. So there's your ringing endorsement. Oh, some solid titles coming out. Oh, there was one more I feel like was fitting that niche of like old school. I mean, just buy the game and it's there.
That Animal Well is like 100% in Brant's corner, man. It's like that Metroidvania.
Oh yeah,
everybody's hyping Animal Well.
I downloaded it because it was included with extra, so I'm gonna try it out. I was trying to get Richard to join me because it's better to play in a group of friends because it's like all the secrets you discover. Like it's like the old school, like the NES days. Like, hey, I found this. It's great. You seen this one yet? No, I haven't seen it yet.
Blah, 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 Jason Trier was saying he was playing Discord with a bunch of early previewers and was enjoying that.
I think it's the whole discovering stuff as you play together. Like, yeah, you could do this. And it's like, I just found this. Like, oh shit, for real. Like, I just got to go over here and do like how we used to play when we were kids. Like, yeah, go over here. I heard you go over here. Something here. Oh shit, like that. That's why they're talking about play with people.
Extra's like $6 probably for me right now to upgrade for the next 2 months. I might as well pony it up and do that. At least until Days of Play. Days of Play is next month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm ready for these Game Mess and Game Fest announcements. I'm excited. Games played, not a whole lot. I started a title that's been on my list of shame for a while on Steam Deck, Castlevania Lords of the Shadow, the Kojima,
you son of a bitch.
Lords of Shadow, the Kojima Productions Fox Engine. Was that a Fox Engine game? That was before Fox Engine.
I don't know, but they didn't take his name out of it.
They did not. And it plays flawlessly on Steam Deck. That game's fucking gorgeous. And I've been craving like the God of War style. Been looking at God of War. Do I start with Ascension? Do I start with 1 again and go all the way through those?
Oh God! I just downloaded all of them and I still don't know where to go.
I'm in that wormhole. I think
Ascension's the first one, I think, or something weird
story-wise.
Yeah.
But you ruin some of like the story beats. They say play them in release order is the determination.
Yeah, because if you play Ascension and then go back to 1, but like what the fuck happened?
Well, you don't care about the plight of him trying to put those pieces together in the first one, like why he's throwing himself off the cliff in the beginning. You just don't have that investment in the character arc. And yeah, you betrayed me. It plays like God of War. It does not play like traditional Castlevania games. It's solid.
It's very God of War.
It's very cinematic. Like there's a lot of we've done a lot of like I rode a horse like on the back of a horse, kind of like the Zelda mini games and like Twilight Princess, where you're like you'll have to use heavy and light attacks on either side of you to defend. Not much from the story so far. I'm not getting a whole lot from that.
Patrick Stewart.
The music's good. I know Patrick Stewart's in it, but I haven't met him yet. It plays great on Steam Deck. It plays really, really well. What did I do? I did a bunch of Steam Deck updates, but that's really what I dove into. Highly recommend that one.
Those are my favorite things to do. Is like our system settings now for 3DS. It's like just go up there and update all the Steam Deck.
And it's always Trombone Champ. Trombone Champ always has a fucking update on Steam Deck.
I had to uninstall it because I got tired.
I might do it because I'm not playing it. I'm updating it more than I'm playing it.
Don't turn it off. It's like, oh, hold on, we're gonna update Trombone Champ before we can start this game. I'm like, no, stop. We don't play that.
And the other thing I kind of tinkered around with, I found a used Guitar Hero guitar at Goodwill. which those don't occur very often, or I see the.
You're the only person I know that keeps finding them with the dongle and without.
So, this is a Wii one, which you provide your own dongle with, which is the controller. And I was like, man, I'm pretty sure I have a couple of music games for the Wii, and I'll grab this one. It seems to be in good condition. I think I showed it to Brant right after I got it.
Yep.
And games acquired, I guess I could have done. I found a shit ton of PS3 games, but it was just like mostly licensed stuff like Madagascar and Surf's Up and shit like that.
A Madagascar cart.
Not Madagascar cart. I do want that for PS3. So I cleaned it up because, guitar, gross, nasty, hands.
They have Madagascar
fingers.
cart. If the servers are still up, we might be able to go throw
That'd
it
be fun.
I see it. I have it. You got to get it. If the servers are up.
I also finally downloaded a couple PS3 games. I got Alundra off that store because that's $6, and a physical disc is like $150 at this point. So I was like, sure, I'll fucking pay $6. And I got MotorStorm 3D Rift. It's like a DLC only thing. It's like
the third one, right? Pacific Rift. This is 3D Rift. It's like a. The fuck is that?
Just,
so it's a rare SKU or something like that?
It's a download-only MotorStorm, like small tidbit thing.
Oh, okay. I keep forgetting it's digital.
Yeah.
I don't know why physical's jumping.
No, there's no physical copy of this. It's only on that PSN store.
You're right.
And the PS3 subreddit was all lit up 2 days ago because nobody could connect. It's like, they did it to us. It's gone. Nobody could. Everybody was getting an error on the PS3 store, but it's back. So anyways, I clean up this Wii guitar. You open the back of it and like you pop the Wii remote in there and clip that on there, and then you slide it in, and then it tucks in there like really nicely. It's a good setup for the Wii. And I'm like, man, for sure I've got at least like Beatles Rock Band, I've got regular Rock Band, I've got a couple Guitar Heroes.
See that's a good one to play, like a Beatles Rock Band, because it's tough to find something that'll be compatible on PS3.
Yeah,
and
those instruments are getting stupid unreal. So I go to look on my library. I have one compatible game with this guitar, and it's compatible with basically all the Rock Band and all the Guitar Heroes. I have Guitar Hero Country Pack 2. So I fire that up to test this guitar and see if it works. And I played Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash, and I got 98% on it. So I still got it. And all the buttons work, and the strum bar works, and it's solid. It was a solid pickup for $6, and they're getting harder and harder to find. So,
I mean, like the new models as it came out, and they're fucking sold out, and they're going for like 300 new. So,
oof, and they were 130 MSRP, right? So they're already the upsellers.
Those already kind of high because I think they were like, when they came out Rock Band 4, they were like $100. So
thank you, upsellers. You're ruining this hobby like everything else.
I looked down pre-order one and got it. Some people pre-ordered theirs and got their shit canceled. And then was put back on sale again. So like my whole Fire Emblem incident.
It's called the Riftmaster, right? Have you tried it out yet?
Mm-hmm. I need to, because I started reading online that some of the buttons are broken for some people, and I was like, I really need to fire it up and test it out.
So that's all I played was Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire, but it works. So the games seem to be pretty cheap for the Wii, so I think I'll pick up Beatles Rock Band. That'll be a good accessible. My kids, I'm thinking my kids have a Wii in their room. I'm thinking they'll really dig this, and they love the Beatles.
They'll love it when they start playing Yellow Submarine and shit like that. That shit gets freaky on that screen. Yeah.
So I'll pick up Rock Band and probably Guitar Hero 2 and 3, and the music sounded fine on the Wii. Like I know it's like a DVD bastard format, but it didn't sound super compressed. It sounded like a great rendition of Ring of Fire. And
don't worry, Rich, we'll get you that Retro Tink 4K, and then you'll plug in your Wii in there, and then just.
I mean,
it'll all go away.
A JVC CRT playing in 480i as God intended in 4x3, so I was playing with no lag on that. Well, the Retro Tink takes out the lag too for music instruments and stuff, right?
We would have to try.
Yeah, that'd be a good test.
Yeah, I mean, I can't confirm. I read on Twitter somebody was using their Steam Deck on the Retro Tink because it looked better, and I was like, oh shit, I never even thought about that, but.
That is a very obscure cut for the Retro Tink, but I respect
well, because I think.
Somebody
had like started playing Anima well and was like, it looks better on the Retro Tink because I think they put on the CRT filter and it looks like they were playing on a CRT.
The couple screenshots I've seen of that game, it looks like it would benefit from that sort of graphic style. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't patch or have an option for a CRT filter type thing.
They may or may not. I haven't downloaded, I haven't fired up. There may be one on there. I just know that they included that one. I think they were. I never even thought about it. I didn't think it was possible. I was like, am I that crazy son of a bitch to do it?
By Jove, they've done it.
Yeah.
That's it for me. That's it for my games played.
I mean, I absolutely didn't play shit. I'm trying to think of like way back. earlier this week. If I played anything, I don't think I have.
You touched a little bit on Stellar Blade. You got anything on Stellar Blade?
I literally watched a certain character die, and I'm like, okay. And then I got to the next part of the story. It's probably like 15 minutes.
Okay.
That was it.
But it looks good and plays well and stuff, right? Like Street 4K PS2
I can
game.
see what people say. I can see why people love this game because it does get that feel that it's like that PS2 type era where these games were.
I want to support this game so bad.
Outside of the clothing drama or clothing getting 2024 on that thing, but outside
Totally
of that,
not worried about that.
The gameplay where I think it matters, it plays pretty good. The story wise, I'm not sure what the fuck's going on. So I'm like, are all these robots that drop in there and there's aliens all around? So I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. And now you might like it, Richard, because it does go to that post-apocalyptic era where like you have the vegetation growing over the skyscrapers. Some of the skyscrapers are falling apart, type of stuff.
That's
like
awesome.
that. So I'm like, it does have that aesthetic on there. That's a lot of people enjoy.
Like something really bad happened here.
I'm trying to think of anything else I played. I don't think I played shit. I'm gonna have to kick over to Brent. I'm busy doing other things, man. I'm so fucking tired.
Same.
I played. The only thing I fired up was for some reason I always get this bug every 6 months. It's like I gotta play visual novel on the 360, and then I
As one does.
Clannad on the 360 because it was backwards compatible in Japan, and I just bought one off of eBay. It was like $14.99 from our favorite local Japanese reseller in
the one in Georgia. I was about to say.
Yeah.
We need to go.
Yeah, I always get from him.
Do they have a physical storefront?
They go to cons. So they probably at MomoCon. They probably at AWA. They don't have a physical store. I think they just take all their shit to cons and then sell off the eBay store. But it's like it's better to go to the cons because I think the one me and Renee went to, like all their shit was like clearance. Like they dropped an additional 10 to 20% off, so you didn't pay that high eBay prices on that.
Right, because they're not having to split their fees with somebody. They just paid their fee to the con or whatever, and then they're good.
But I played a little bit of Clannad, man. I'm familiar with it. There's no English option. It's in Japanese, so I'm not proficient in all the kanji yet. So my reading is slow. I'm still reading like I'm in 6th grade, man. It sucks ass. It's like I'm like 5 years old. I'm just like,
But there's no like Twitch trigger quick movement things, right? You can take your time and
you take
your time and read it. You don't have to quick respond or QTE or anything.
Press A to go. Yeah, press A to go. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. It's just reading. It's all it is. It's reading. You have different paths you can take, so you can usually just save.
Choose your own adventure. And, if you fucked up, you can.
Yeah, when you get to the whole visual novel things. When you do a visual novel, you just quick save a certain choices on the screen, and you're like, okay, I'll choose the other choice later because it takes you on another path for different ending and shit.
Yeah.
So. That's it for my random 360 game that I play in my Series X. The first disc I put in my Series X in the last 2 years. And it's only visual novel games because the last one I took out was also Steins Gate. I don't know what the next one will be, but I'll kick it over.
360 visual novels. Speaking of 360s, that's a good segue because Brant apparently bought 5 Xbox 360s, 5 copies of Skyrim, 5 copies of
UFC. I just kept looking at UFC over and over again as a load of them in my chat. I was like, what? Damn it, Brent! I see the UFC. I don't have it. I don't know what you want me to do.
I said, Brant, that's clean, and then I got it again. It's like, Brant, it's still fucking clean. I don't know what to tell you.
Like me, Richard, trying to get Brent to download F123. He's like, no, we need to be playing UFC on 360. I was like, I got to get the 360 out of storage. I was like, fuck, I don't even have one accessible to me.
So
I downloaded the demo.
Some context. Brant sent us a picture of what he's probably going to talk about, and apparently sent it like 5 times, and we just got it back to back to back to back.
I sent it like once.
And
it said it didn't send, so I sent it one more time.
I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Then
I was like, I didn't want to be the asshole and to say like, Richard, is this you too, man? Because I'm just nonstop getting the game.
I actually pinched and zoomed. I'm like, there's got to be something different about this one. It's like, spot the differences.
Damn. It was totally unintentional.
What's different about this one? What'd you get, Brant? Because that looked exciting. That looked like our cup of tea.
No, it's after horrible news with Xbox.
Get the damn mattress.
I had to go back to when I actually had good memories of Xbox. So,
a lot of people had
my first
everybody was eating good across all platforms.
That was their high. That was really their high.
PSP was rocking. Yeah. PS2 was hanging in there. PS3, Wii was kicking ass.
So my first 360 was and I've told talked to you all about this, was the Xbox 360 Arcade Edition, which did not have a hard drive. It had a 512 megabyte memory card.
That's the internal one, right?
Yes.
Oh no, not even internal.
No, it was a memory card.
Didn't they go internal at some point with those 256 or something like that? Then wasn't it cheaper and they went that route?
And then there's one with a 4 gig internal.
The E one,
I guess to do 360 backups or backward compatibility off the bat.
But I did eventually upgrade that model to a Xbox 360 Elite, and not just any Elite, the Elite Slim model or whatever they called it. So when I was looking around, actually this past weekend, I perused and I found one for around $140. Came with, HDMI, power cables, 2 controllers, and
25 games.
Not 25, but
it was the same.
I saw 25
5 games, but it was 5 pictures, so it's 25 games.
And it came with seven games.
Skyrim.
UFC, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 3.
Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty 4. Brent, if you want to do a LAN party, just let us know.
Yes.
We see your multitudes of 360s. Skyrim LAN would be fun.
But I did. I put it up. I got it today. I set it up.
Was that eBay or local seller or
that was
eBay? eBay.
That was eBay.
Get it in before it's hard to find.
That slim 360 redesign was a beautiful console.
It was, because I kind of just forgot about it until I started looking. And what was interesting is my nephew had actually talked to me. He has a 360 from my mother. Actually, she had one for some reason or another,
awesome.
and had it for the kids to play. And I guess she decided she just didn't want it at her house anymore, so she gave it to him. And he's like, I want to get like Red Dead for it, and I want to get this for it. And I said, boy, say no more. At some point we will load up and go to, there's a couple local game stores I know, we can make a day of it.
They're cheap right now. Now's the time to get 360 and PS3 games. Now's the time.
And I told him, I was like, the store, the online store is closing in this January, June?
It's June.
Or
summer, right?
July.
It's
Yeah.
next
June,
month or
July.
July, possibly, yeah.
June, July. So,
Let me get an exact
I was like,
date on
there's,
that.
Nothing this summer like closing the Xbox Marketplace.
yeah, there's a handful of things that you probably want to get your hand on. I opened it up and immediately noticed how freaking clean this thing is. I mean, there's some like small surface like scuffs, but honestly, this thing it's pretty good. Whoever had it actually either took really good care of it, or whoever sold it cleaned it up
shit out
really,
of it.
really good.
July 29th, 2024 is the shutdown.
So I started it up, had some trouble signing in, and found out that apparently if you have trouble on your 360, the easiest fix is to go into your account and go to your payment management and toggle on and off your automatic billing. Don't know what that has to do with anything, and I highly doubted it, and then I did it, and it just fucking worked. Because I signed in, I brought my profile up, downloaded it, signed into Xbox Live, and then it just kept kicking me off. I'm like, what's going on? And I saw that fix. I'm like, I don't know. I kept trying to. I said, screw it. What's the harm? Turn off automatic bill. Okay, turn back on automatic bill. Go back. Boop, connected to Xbox Live, and it didn't kick me off anymore.
Oh, so it's
the weirdest.
Caught in some weird cycle. Some code thing sends it right back into that loop.
It's very Microsoft.
Yep. That's a Windows-esque fix, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's very Microsoft. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
So I look forward to playing that 360 a lot again. And
did you update it or throw anything to it, or that slim one has like a built-in port, so you don't need an extra power supply or anything. So let me know if you don't have a 360 Connect. And
I don't have a 360 Connect.
Right. May have some surplus Just Dance games and some Connect Adventures. Yeah. Not that it'd be hard to find a Connect Adventures game.
Connectimals. I know you see those all the time. You see
I think it's hard.
Games.
I think it's harder to find the Dragon Ball Z Connect game than anything else.
Was there one?
Yeah.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, I had to keep doing this on the fucking screen every time. Yeah.
360, I liked when they added the software update to let you like copy the game to the hard drive, and you would hear that disc spin up one time, and then you were good after that. That was awesome for games that I played a shit ton. That was such a great feature.
I was kind of sad to boot it up and to remember that they kind of got rid of everything and just had the tiles.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That was one of the last updates with those damn tiles. I was like, man, what happened to the blades? Give me back the blades.
I don't know that even a stock Slim model would have had the blades OS. I think it would have been a little bit later.
No, it would have been the tiles.
Yeah. And then there was like the people, the rare developed avatars. You like cycled through those in one of those OSs. Have you played anything on it yet? Have you fired anything up on that 360?
No, I did put the game that I probably bought about 5 times when I had my 360,
I mean, we saw 5 pictures of it.
Which was Modern Warfare, the original Call of Duty 4. So
that sold a shit ton of 360s and PS3s.
That was the game back in the day. So
I remember there was a time when I was in college that we all stayed late and installed Modern Warfare on the computers in the computer lab and ran a LAN on that. On the demo before the game came out.
That'd be good times.
Yeah.
So we can't play Halo 2 or we can't play Halo 3 or 4 on there anymore. I haven't done a dive on the 360 like I did the PS3 to see what people are still playing. I know their server's still up though.
Yeah.
That's a good library as well.
Yeah, because, I mean, up until they announced that they were going to be shutting everything down, it was one of the only ones that people looked at and were like, guys, this, Microsoft's doing it right, because you buy a 360 and all the stuff just works. Everything's there. You just go in, you buy all this, but now they're actually going to be shutting it down, so.
It's been a long
Can't live forever,
time.
right?
It's been almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I still give PlayStation props for keeping that thing open. Nintendo's killed the Wii and its successor since then.
Yeah.
Good pickup, Rand. Are there any like must-have titles that you're on the lookout for?
I don't know, because I mean, I've got like all the Gears of War up here, 1 through 4. Got Modern Warfare 2, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, Orange Box, Portal, Red Dead.
And they've done such a good job with preservation. Like, there's better ways to play those right
most
now.
Of those have, moved up to the current console through backwards compatibility.
And also has the boost on there too, so some of those play better on there.
And auto HDR and just crazy wizardry shit that they did with some of those. I wish they'd go back. Maybe they've leaned more into preservation, they say, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm thinking they're lean more into making whatever's out now playable into whatever future hardware is coming out.
I don't know. There's still no substitute for just the feel of this 360 controller in my hand. Again, I'm just like, man, this was such a kick-ass
design. It's a top-tier controller.
Like, this was it, man.
That who was it? Hyperkin that made that for Windows and Xbox One. Man, they were on sale this past weekend.
It's a wired only.
They were on sale for like $40, and I was so tempted.
I can't, man. I have so many fucking controllers everywhere. I can't.
And that new Xbox One design for like the series consoles with the share button, it's just, to me, it's like a supreme version of that one. Like it's just an even better step up. And
having it back in my hand, once I got into like trying to sign into my account, I like reflexively wanted to have the damn like little clip-on QWERTY keyboard there to like start. I'm like, oh damn it!
Start talking shit to people.
I need my keyboard.
I had that too.
Start dropping
and I had the
expletives.
PS3 one because it gave like more cushion for your fingers back there. Like you had more to.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do so much this as you had like a whole grip to put behind there. That was a good era, man. Are we now super nostalgic for? Yeah, we had it good.
I'm waiting for a brand to somehow try to bring SOCOM back on PS3, and then we can all enjoy it again.
I want to play some SOCOM.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, SOCOM 2 and 3 are LAN on PS2. Just have to get a firewire.
We need that fucking shit on. We need the fucking shit on the PlayStation Classics. Give y'all a fucking reason to do something. I don't know.
I want to support.
It's like a slam dunk.
Yeah,
It's right there.
Fucking SOCOM there. Yeah.
It's right there. I want to support. You give me a reason to. They're not. Unless it's Topspin. All right, is that it, Brant?
But yeah.
Brant, I'm super interested in your 360 journey. I want to know where this goes, and I need to look through my stuff and see if I got something for you. Do you have Halo 3? You have to have a Halo copy of Halo 3 with the poster and everything.
Oh gosh. No, I don't.
All right,
that was my like first game. I bought Halo 3 off somebody in my school before I even had a 360 because
that's the only way you could get it because you weren't old enough to buy it. So.
Well,
little baby Brant.
This specific person got 2 different copies. I guess their parents were divorced, so it was something they had asked for, and they got it from one and also the other. So they were like, oh, I have an extra copy. I haven't even opened it. You want to just buy it off me? I'm like, hell yeah.
Wow.
And I played the hell out of Halo 3. Halo 3 was so damn good.
It's a fantastic video game. I love you reliving this era. This is perfect. All right. Is that it for us? You got some more, Brant?
Yeah, I actually have games played.
Oh, beautiful. Not just games acquired and games collected.
I did continue with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I had gotten into Cosmo Canyon. Nanaki, Red 13 had returned home.
Are there still does it still play that theme? Doon 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 doon. I might have to look up that rendition.
So, I would say it's a little different, but it's. But
did they vanilla ice it and just change one little thing at the end?
Yeah, theirs goes da 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 da. Ours goes da 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 da. But anyway, so we talked to the Bogenhagen.
That's the name I couldn't come up with last week.
And we learn about planetology because everybody here is like scholars of planetology. They study the planet. They a lot of them believe they know everything about it because we keep talking about certain experiences or things we feel about the planet or know what's going on, and how we need to fight for the planet. And they're like, nah, the planet kind of handles its own stuff. It all goes in a cycle. If there's something wrong, the planet sets it right to do about it. And there's other characters in the party that have had experiences, and they're like, that's cute that you think that about how that works, but that's that's not how that works. We can teach you about that's just ignorance to how the planet actually does things. Here, come on, let's go over here and listen about this part. Look at this. It's in the first game you go into like an atrium and it does this whole big like planetarium style projection with planets.
It's almost like going to a
everything
science center. Like we have Fernbank in Atlanta. It's almost like visiting a science center.
So they do that again here, and they talk about a few things, and eventually it kind of leads up to the characters feeling like I don't know about this place, man, because I'm not feeling the vibe here. But Nanaki, they're doing that, he's more concerned about becoming a watcher, which is like a protector of the veil of this village. He wants to live up to his expectations of himself and to live up to his parents, where his mother was a watcher and his father was a watcher, but his father, he believes, was a coward because he supposedly ran away under pressure and So eventually he takes a trial to see if he's good enough to become one of the Watchers of the village. And the whole time the Bogenhagen is talking about, well, this isn't just a journey to see if you're good enough. This is an introspective kind of thing.
Right.
You know, this is learning about you, yourself, and your past. And he doesn't get it. So you go through, you learn about the Gi, which are these kind of ancient
spirit things, right?
Spirit. Yeah, they don't really die. They're like restless. They, come back and, fight you.
Like Taco Bell.
Just like Taco Bell. And eventually, you do all this fighting. There's a boss fight, and he gets to the point where, wow, okay, so I think I passed, right? Am I good? And Bogenhagen goes, well, it's not for me to decide. We need to go over here to this last thing so I can show you something. And there's this giant like cliff overseeing, and there's the moon in the background. And the Bogenhagen was talking about there was this great watcher who took on many Gi all at once, and he fought them all fearlessly, and even though there was no way he could win, and the whole time Red is, well, who was that? Because I've never heard of this person. Somebody that great, we would have heard of them. He goes, oh, okay. So you look up on the cliff, and there's a silhouette, and it kind of comes more into view, and it looks like Red 13, but it's his dad, due to the poison that the Gi keep on their weapons. The poison can actually turn things it can petrify them. It turns them into stone. So he tells him, he says, look there, that's because of the poison, he's in that battle, he was turned to stone, and now he forever watches. We're under his protection always.
I remember that in the PS1 game. It was freaking awesome.
So it's very cool. It's very impactful.
Awesome.
And he then tells Nanaki or Red about how he's not good enough. He's not good enough to become a Watcher because he doesn't want him to become stagnant or stuck. He goes, because he's like, I think a lot of us have become stuck in our way of thinking. He goes, I think that you should stay with your friends and go out and explore and figure out what's actually going on out there. So I don't think you're good enough to become a Watcher. I think you need more training. And so Nanaki has got this new fire, this new resolve to not only be the best Watcher and the best warrior he can be, but to prove himself and live up to his newfound vision of his father and all this. And then now that's kind of where I left off.
It's a heavy moment.
It's a heavy moment, man.
So good.
Other than that, I still continued on Pokemon Red. When we last talked, I had beat Sabrina. Now I've actually gone through. I defeated Koga, I defeated Blaine, and I defeated Giovanni and got the last 3 badges. So all I've got to do is the Elite Four.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. All I've got to do is the Elite Four, and I am done. I did go ahead and run and catch one of the legendary birds, Zapdos.
The power plant? Is he at the power plant?
Yep, power plant.
God, I remember so much from this era. And I can't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday. Stupid.
Only the things that matter.
The brain is amazing, horrible thing.
It's a complex.
Yeah.
Complex organ.
And the last thing is, I don't know how me and you got on the same wavelength. Maybe it was you showing me that Guitar Hero controller. I pulled out my Guitar Hero controller, and I played that Guitar Hero 3. I played that Guitar Hero 3 game I showed y'all, I don't know, maybe a month ago, on the PS2. And that is the one where it's Legends of Rock.
So good. The lineup on this track list on this one is so good.
Started doing that like yeah, there's some stuff where it's made famous by this artist, and then there's other things that it's the actual artist that's on there. You know, they start bringing in the cameos. So, like, the first one that shows up is Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine
Yeah.
to come and do the little guitar battles and stuff with you.
Slash is in this one.
Yeah, Slash is in there. I've only played through, I don't know, like the first 3.5, maybe almost all the first 4 sections where you go through, because the Guitar Hero games, you literally, it's closed off when you do the career. You have to do 3 of the 4 songs from these small song lists, and then you move on to a new venue and progress in your stardom.
I pop one in and I pull up the game facts and I figure out what that code is to unlock everything on the disc.
Yeah,
That's
what I need to.
Good old days.
That's what I need to. But
Yeah.
I felt like just going through the career and starting to get it's a damn good game, man.
Yeah.
All the Guitar Heroes were.
Paint It Black is on that one, if I remember right. The Rolling
Yes.
Stones track, and I
Yes.
love that version on there. It was so much
The
fun.
set list I have just unlocked. Oh gosh, I can't remember everything that's on there, but I know Weezer's "My Name Is Jonas" was on there.
I love
and,
that song too.
and it's actually Weezer.
I gotta
The
get
Rolling
this one.
Stone song was actually Rolling Stones.
I gotta get this one. for
Painted
the kids.
Black. But there's been like other stuff like "Rock and Roll All Night" by Kiss is on there, but it's one of those. It's like made famous by.
Yeah. The in-house artists put up a nice
I think
effort.
Barracuda by Heart was also one of those. But I mean, what's amazing is like the artists they get to cover these do a really damn good job. Like if you're just jamming out, you're not really gonna know much of a difference, honestly. Like if you're really paying attention, you're,
Right.
okay, yeah, that's not the real artist. But honestly, it's like it's not noticeable. It's not like somebody completely different style, or that doesn't sound like the person at all.
Yeah, it's not your
singing it,
local
where
cover
it stands
band.
out.
Mhm.
Yeah, so super good. But that's also one that you can. Guitar Hero games are just one of those games you can just pick up, play for a while, and then set it back down. But I don't know, it's so much fun that
Bring them back.
when I need a quick gaming session, or just need to feel like it. Hell, sometimes you need a rhythm game.
Yeah, it's an awesome quick fix.
Fun and easy.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it, man.
Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock. Oh, that's gaming case only. It's running about $20 on Wii, which is kind of surprising, but see how it goes. Keep poking around at Goodwill. Never know what I'll find. All right. Anything else you guys want to add?
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.